Warrington winger hopes he'll get across the whitewash a few times tonight to give Warrington a real chance of taking out their first ever big league title. And there's no doubt about it, the crowds have rolled up to see Jonathan Davis and company here this evening. It's a great crowd for what will be Warrington's last match in the big league. The Premiership, of course, to come. They're assured a place in the top four, so there'll be home matches. Warrington have got Davis at full-back, Forster, Bateman, Roper, Harris, Ellis and Mackey, who is the captain. And up front it's Tees, Thursfield, Phillips, Derbyshire, Sanderson and Shelford. And on the bench, two youngsters, Andy Bennett and Mark Hilton. And coach Brian Johnson has done an excellent job this season. Sheffield Eagles are aiming for 5th place, having won 9 of their last 11 matches and 1 draw. And Mark Aston scored that try and 6 goals when Sheffield won here at Warrington in 1989. And Aston, along with his half-back colleague Darryl Powell, the engine room of this Sheffield Eagles team. Much change, though, because of injury. 10 first-teamers out, but it's Hayes, Armswood, Price, Maiko, Stott, Powell and Aston. And up front, Broadbent, Randall, Lawton, Grimaldi, Hughes and Carr. And the substitutes who will be making their debut for the Eagles if they get on, Daryl Summerhill and Eddie Walker. Walker playing under a non-diploom because he is actually a rugby union trialist. Robin Whitfield from Widnes. It's his last match in the big league. 50-year-old Robin Whitfield. This is his match that will bring the curtain down on a great career. And Darryl Powell, Sheffield Eagles international, 25 caps for his country. And I'm sure that he will be looking forward to playing in the big leagues Premiership at Old Trafford if the Eagles can get there. He scored a hat-trick in the last 2 times that Eagles were there in the 2nd division event. So it's the Stonesborough Championship that goes right down to the wire, and it is Warrington against Sheffield Eagles here at Wilderspool. Big crowd to bid farewell to Warrington's big league season. Will they be cheering a championship at the end of it? We shall wait and see.
Well, the crowd were very confident that that would be the case. They'll want to get off to a pretty quick start, this Warrington side. Big crowd waiting for the first action.
That's Paul Carr of Sheffield Eagles. The dummy half is Darryl Powell. Big collision with Gary Tees. He slips the ball well, though. Carr was back in support. Good tackling, though. That's Roland Phillips. The tackle on Richard Price. Randall with the blonde locks to Aston, who will kick diagonally towards the corner. Just a little bit too much on it, though. Runs dead in goal. Opening minute of this match gone. 0-0. Big night for Warrington. Championship beckons.
They can see the half-back Aston saying to his players, come on, think about it, think all the time. They know how important the win here would certainly lift their confidence to go into the playoffs. First time ever in First Division for the Eagles.
It's Roland Phillips with a driving run. Phillips, the Welsh international, he has become a big favourite on the terraces here at Wilderspool. Thursfield is the dummy half. The runner there was Derbyshire, only passed a fitness test just before the kick-off. Greg Mackey. Now Kelly Shelford. Shelford with a lovely run. Davis was on his inside. Shelford just couldn't get the ball away. It was good tackling by Randall. Here now is Gary Sanderson, taking Warrington up to halfway, but good tackling again from the Eagles.
Such a key player is Kelly Shelford for Warrington. Really had a magnificent season.
Davis's kick down to the fullback Brad Hayes, formerly with Doncaster and South Sydney. He's an Australian that the Eagles signed on a free transfer. A knot of supporters from Sheffield making themselves heard as Paul Carr drives the ball up. Aston gets the ball away. Oh, that was high from Mackey. Swinging arm on Broadbent. Play on, says referee Whitfield. That's Big Dale Lawton, the prop forward. Randall gets the ball away to Aston. High kick from Aston. Again into that corner. They're obviously kicking towards Mark Forster, but that's a good take from Forster, and a great run too, and Maiko, he stood up to the challenge well. Untidy play the ball. Warrington retained possession with Bateman.
Rather surprised at Sheffield. It was well taken by Mark Forster, using those tactics. You'd think perhaps they'd be putting pressure on the youngster, Yiston Harris.
Quick hands from Warrington. This is Roper up to halfway. Darryl Powell moving across to bring him to ground with a little bit of help from Ian Hughes as well. That's good defence from the Eagles.
Great stuff there. Powell helped by Hughes. Talented centre, the youngster Jonathan Roper. He's a big lad. Certainly a start of the future. He's impressed me the couple of occasions that I've seen him.
Scrum goes down. Mark Aston will feed because, of course, was the Warrington player who went out with the ball in possession. Aston gets it back. Greg Mackey all round him. Paul Carr anxious to get on with it at dummy half. Takes Sheffield over the halfway line. Ball to no one really. Picked up by Broadbent. Broadbent's certainly one of the form props in the big league this season. Really has impressed his coach Gary Hetherington. And the ball spilled. Roland Phillips picks up. That was a bit of a mistake by Nick Grimaldi. Shelford gets away from one tackle. This now is Ellis. He can't get away from those two. Thursfield the dummy half. Mackey. Shelford. Davis helped it on quickly, and it was a nothing ball really for Roper. He had no chance really to get that.
This is what you call applying the pressure. You could see there the centre Richard Price coming on very strong. Davis just trying to fingertip it across. No chance for Roper.
Playing full back tonight is Jonathan Davis. Only the second time in his Warrington career. Richard Price is grounded. Ashton, that was a fingertip touch by Carr, but he held on to it brilliantly. Randall's gone into dummy half this time. Broadbent's the runner. Sanderson tries to take him low down. Broadbent, well, he thought about unloading because the winger stop was there, but he's given it instead to Forster.
Well, Broadbent was looking for the delayed pass and he got it away, and I'm not so sure that the winger, Linton Stott, was obstructed before he got to the ball there. There you see it. Alan Bateman it was that went into Stott, not allowing him to back up the man in possession. Lady luck shining on Warrington on that occasion.
Grimaldi with the tackle on Sanderson. This is Mackey. Now Bateman. Thursfield the dummy half, and here's Rowley Phillips. That's a good run from him, but good tackling as well from Ian Hughes. Davis has chimed up into the line. There's the high kick. That's a real tester for Hayes. Oh, did he get fingertips to it? No, he didn't. Davis says he did. Touch judge, I think, got his flag up, says he did. And the pictures prove.
That mistake there from the full-back. Really had all the time in the world to take that. Should have moved a little bit quicker towards it. The pressure mounting now.
27 today, Brad Hayes, the Sheffield Eagles fullback. That certainly wasn't an early birthday present for him from Davis. Here's Forster, who's looked very busy, very aggressive early on.
This is what surprised me, is his scintillating form as the winger Forster.
He's gone down, though, in that challenge. That was a really heavy collision. Paul Carr saying, let's get on with it, but watch this here. Clash of heads, I think.
Well, Maiko comes in and the shoulder right into the head. Looking to get away with that one.
Play continues while Forster receives some treatment. Thursfield, that's good work by Broadbent at the play the ball. Mackey and Shelford, lovely ball to Bateman. Must say, Steve-O, early minutes here, though, the Eagles sticking to their guns well, considering they have so many first-teamers out.
Yeah, well, Warrington have been bringing the changes, haven't they? Bringing the men back on the inside all the time, but the Sheffield Eagles' defence is not being sucked across. They're hanging back.
Drop goal attempt by Mackey, and he's kicked it. First point of the night for Warrington. Greg Mackey's second one-pointer of the season.
Let's get out of here with 1 point. Experience showing there. We mentioned the strong defence from the Eagles. And the Australian power right over the black dot. 1 point. And of course they'll regain possession from the kickoff. Excellent thinking.
Warrington 1, Sheffield Eagles 0. One point from Greg Mackey. Of course, that's what Warrington need. Points all the way tonight, but the Eagles, the way they've started here, are determined to keep Warrington pegged back. Gary Tees with the run for Warrington. Tees is 6th game back after 3 months out injured. Thursfield, the dummy half, Phillips. Good tackling by Randall. Carl Randall signed from the Dodworth Amateur Rugby League Club in Barnsley. Same team as Dale Lawton, the number 10 there, doing the tackling on Kelly Shelford now. Mackey drills the ball this time towards the corner. Hayes has to move across to pick it up. Good chase, Warrington. Sanderson led the way. Forster fully recovered, number 2.
Super kick there from Greg Mackey. Split the two players. The chasing game was there. And now Sheffield really penned in their own quarter.
Richard Price manages to get away from one. Good tackling by Ellis, though. He tracked him down. Aston to Grimaldi. Well, Sheffield Eagles been in existence 10 years. This has been their best season ever in the big league. Previous best finish was 10th. They're on their way to the Premiership playoffs this season. Looking for 5th spot. Aston again drilling the ball into that corner, and this time he finds touch.
Beautiful kick. No one at home. He had all the time in the world. No pressure applied.
10 minutes gone. It's not a soccer match at 1-0. This is the big league. Greg Mackey with the drop goal attempt that was successful, and Mackey there, number 7, the scrum half, feeding this scrum, getting possession, finding the robust figure of Jonathan Roper. Here's Ellis, helps it wide to Shelford. Long ball from him into the arms of Iestyn Harris, Welsh international. Good tackling there by Armswood. Another 18-year-old, number 2 for Sheffield. Now Ellis. There are no fewer than 5 Welsh internationals in this Warrington side. Really is home from home for the boys from the Valleys. There's another of them, Roland Phillips. Does well, releases the ball to Mackey. Kevin Ellis takes it on. Good tackle by Carr, dumped him to the ground. Oh, gets the pat in the back from Randall. Mackey, lovely ball to Sanderson. Broadbent, good tackling.
Super play from Mackey there for the first time to split the Sheffield defence.
Here's Shelford. Long ball out wide to Forster. And Linton Stock on defence, with a bit of help from David Myko. This is Mackey. Now Ellis. Here's Davis. Little dink over the top. He was obstructed by Ian Hughes, but referee said it was perfectly legal. Hughes, of course, doesn't have to get out of the way. Davis collided with him.
Little doubt that Davis was trying to milk the penalty. Kick over. He just stood his ground. He can do that.
Eagles in possession. Talking to Gary Hetherington, their coach this week, they're keen for a finish in 5th place. Not only, of course, for what that means in terms of the Premiership, but also a visit perhaps from the Australians next autumn when they come over here. Gary Hetherington reckons it would be a wonderful opportunity for the people of South Yorkshire and for the development of the game, bearing in mind Doncaster's progress that they've made this season. And also would be a chance for them to prosper the game in the Midlands. Sounds a pretty good idea to me, but we don't draw up the itinerary, of course, for the touring Kangaroos. But that is an eagerly awaited tour next season. Here's Bateman. Great run from Bateman. Showed the ball to Harris. The Powell did well, tracked him down. Roper the dummy half. Ellis. Now here's Derbyshire.
Quick play of the balls by Warrington. They're catching the Sheffield defence going backwards. Taking him a little bit of a while to sort things out.
Davis, the step, but Randall did well. Good tackle from Carl Randall. Shelford and Tees. Great work from Carr again. He's getting through some work, isn't he? The Australian loose forward for the Eagles. Mackey, ball inside to Phillips. Randall was brushed aside that time.
Such an awkward man to put down, and he's still going.
Now
Upper body strength on Roland Phillips.
Last tackle, it's with Davis. Just flops the ball towards the corner. Well taken, and a good chase by Forster.
Took it well and a good tackle.
Here's Hayes, the full-back. Australian on Australian then, Mackey on Hayes. It's David Myko playing the ball. Been out injured for about 15 months, David Myko. Sheffield centre. That's Broadbent, the prop forward, playing the ball to Aston. Dale Lawton nearly through.
He was looking for the support play then, and there wasn't any. He'd worked hard at the prop forward, Dale Lawton, but there was no support.
Richard Price, number 3 for Sheffield Eagles, in his 76th consecutive match for the Eagles tonight, equaling the club record. That's a lovely kick again. Mark Aston has certainly picked out the target on this left-hand side for the Eagles, drilling it into the corner again.
Well, this is the chess side of rugby league, the modern game. It has to be so spot on with a kick. And then the pressure, let's hope, on Sheffield Eagles' part anyway, that there may be a mistake from the team coached by Brian Johnson.
Quarter of an hour gone, there is the mistake. And they have it back, the Eagles. Myko. Warrington have to scramble their defence and marshal it, but the Eagles now so close with Carr. It's a great run. Is Carr over? He's just held up. It can only be centimetres away from that line. This is a great start by the Randall trying to get over as well. Just held back by the 4 Warrington defenders. Right on the line, Randall. Carr is the dummy half. We'll give it some width this time to Powell. Powell dabs it forward, bounces off Davis. It's play on, second rower, and he's got the ball down. Nick Grimaldi. Sheffield Eagles take a shock lead here at Wilderspool. Grimaldi. Lovely story about him. His wife Becky is expecting triplets any moment now. He only just got the permission to play late this afternoon. First of the season.
Beautiful play, though, by Sheffield. They long kick, got the mistake that they wanted. Powell's little kick through there, and Davids made a real meal of it. And the second rower, Grimaldi, he'll remember that try for quite some time. This is the knock on, the mistake that we were looking for. You could see he had no control of that football. Long ball out. You'll see how Powell, beautiful little kick through, and Davies makes a real meal of that. And the second rower, he takes the advantage. The chance is there, and 4 points.
Nick Grimaldi. Will be quite a day for him if his wife produces the triplets later on tonight. Mark Aston, 109 goals this season, and all 10 points for Sheffield when we last saw the Eagles when they beat Wigan and the Don Valley. Aston with the kick, and it's safe and sound, and the Eagles have a shock lead here. It's 6-1.
Well, stunned silence. There's the man that made a meal, made the mistake, but you've got to point the finger to Kevin Ellis. He knocked on from the scrum win. That's the reason why the teams kick it. Look how Powell just pulled him through there. And I'm afraid Davis will not want to see that too often. He had every chance to take that ball.
That ball bounces in the field of play and goes out on the right side of the corner flag. I think it was Darryl Powell actually who was shouting for them all to leave it. Look, the arms up.
Bad mistake by Davis, but he's rectified it somewhat with a magnificent kickoff. Will it be tit for tat? Will Sheffield make a mumble of this?
Sheffield scrum feed on their own 10-metre line. Robin Whitfield there, saying that ball went backwards as Ashton regained it. Paul Carr. And talking about the baby brigade, by the way, at the Eagles, Paul Carr, the loose forward of Sheffield, his wife had a baby only last night, a little girl. So there's some celebrating in the Sheffield Eagles camp to be done, and they will be celebrating here tonight if they win this. There will be sackcloth and ashes, though, for Warrington if they lose it. And at the moment, it's the Eagles in possession. Ashton's kick over the top. They're ahead 6-1. Too much behind that, though. The pitch has certainly firmed up, despite the fact that we've had quite a bit of rain in the Warrington area over the past, 18 months, it seems like. From this youngster, perhaps. He turns Hayes in and out, but Hayes sticks to the task very well.
Great run from the youngster there, Justin Harris. He did the right thing as well. He was going through his mind whether to kick, but he knew it was the first tackle.
Second rower is Gary Sanderson. A bit warm tonight. Sanderson's taken the head guard off. Here's Derbyshire, his second row colleague. But great defence from Sheffield Eagles. They certainly this season, Steve, have come alive in the big league and come of age.
Well, they've started to believe in themselves, didn't they? And it all came about when their Australian coach had to go back.
This is Mackey. Good ball from him to Bateman. Bateman looking for support. It arrives from Mackey. Try! Warrington have hit back in the best possible manner. Greg Mackey, their inspiration, ever present in all matches, his fourth of the season.
It's all about support play. Nice shout from the blind there. It's Mackey that got the ball out wide, and Bateman step inside. He was looking for support. Davis went outside, but Mackey was there for the inside pass. Super play. Good call from Mackey. You can see he attacks the defence. That drags it across, and Bateman did so well to keep that ball alive. Mackey, a little shimmy, and over for the 4 points. Super play. You can see how the defence from Sheffield on the blind side were just caught going backwards. The sliding cover was not there, and they paid the price.
So Greg Mackey, his first big league try of the season was against his former club Hull in February. Jonathan Davis, 111 goals this season. That's Nelson's, isn't it, in cricket? Nothing unlucky about the 111 that Davis has clipped over this season. 316 points underneath his belt so far. That's 112 goals and 318 points, and 7 tonight to Warrington, 6 to Sheffield.
You see how Mackey's called for the blind side. You can see the Sheffield player ringed. He's actually looking towards his own post, and that means that your defence is not well organised. He was out of position. It allowed Bateman to get the necessary yardage back inside. They won't like that, Sheffield.
The Eagles' defence has been pierced then. Warrington 7-6 up. Have led the table for much of the season as they pursue their first ever First Division Championship. Never out of the top flight, Warrington. Thursfield. That's Gary Tees. Strong run, but good tackling. I have been impressed, I must say, by the Eagles' tackling tonight, Steve-O. Apart from that try they've just conceded, obviously.
Yeah, they were just caught out in defence there, probably for the only second time in this game. Especially impressed with the way that the hooker, Carl Randall, copybook tackling so far.
Yeah, Lee Jackson, the Great Britain international hooker, is out injured. There is number 9, Randall.
He's a workaholic, isn't he? But that try to Warrington, you've got to put it down to that great run from Justin Harris. Didn't panic. He realised it was on the first tackle and possession was vital, and from it, they scored.
It's Hayes who are in... it's Hayes for Sheffield Eagles who are in possession. And the man I've just mentioned, Lee Jackson, is on the pitch side at the moment with Bill Arthur.
Lee, that early try you scored obviously stung Warrington into action. Yeah, we're going great at the moment. We've just got to keep going, and hopefully things are going for us.
Given the fact that you're without several first-teamers, this is not a bad start by the Sheffield Eagles, is it?
No, I think it's the first time we've missed a one-on-one tackle, and Warrington have punished us, but instead they're going well at the moment. We've just got to keep it up.
Do you think the fact that they're in search of points, obviously they want to get their points average up, that maybe they're forcing it a bit too much?
Yeah, I think so. No, Warrington are a good side, though. You can't, take nothing away. They won't be a good side, with all the players they've got. We've got to just keep tackling, and hope we can do well.
Lee Jackson talking to Bill Arthur, the record bye for Sheffield Eagles. Davis just slapping away the attention of Mark Aston. Here's Forster. And the hooker there, number 9, Randall, although Jackson is the record bye, he's the 5th hooker that Sheffield Eagles have had to use this season. And he's not making a bad fist of it, is he?
He's done very well indeed.
Another mistake, this time from Tees, dropped on by Broadbent. There's Randall again. Well, dummy half, here's Grimaldi.
Warrington are trying to do everything at 100 miles an hour. They really have to slow things down. You can see the pass from the dummy half position. Far too hurried.
That's Paul Carr. Warrington halt him just outside the quarter. Aston. Good run from Broadbent. That was Randall. The pass to Aston. There's Powell. That little side-footed kick to the corner. And that causes all sorts of problems for the defences. The sliding kick all along the ground. This time they're running touching goal.
Well, this is the one way of beating the sliding defence, isn't it? But I'm afraid Richard Armswood was a little bit too slow to set off from that. He wasn't up to the tactic.
Well, Warrington certainly in the box seat in terms of possession, but there's only 1 point in it, and we've had 25 minutes now of this first half. It's a vital match. Phillips, vital of course for Warrington. They have got to win. It's as simple as that tonight. Nothing else will do. If they win, they go top of the table. Bradford tomorrow at Leeds, 2 o'clock. We shall be there at Headingley. Hope you'll join us. And then on Sunday, Oldham Wigan. And where will the championship be won and lost? Will it be won here by Bateman? This is a lovely run. Randall, what a tackle that was. Davis, though, has moved up in support, takes on Hayes, and Hayes does well.
What a tremendous tackle from the hooker Randall on Bateman. Try saver.
Long ball from Mackey. This is Phillips. Phillips all the way on the goal. Roland Phillips turned in the tackle, had all the strength in the world, the big Welshman. And it's try number 4 of the season for Phillips. And will that settle the Warrington nerves?
It all came from the wonderful run from Alan Bateman. Set it all up, quick play the ball, Davis went forward with it. Look at the skills of the Welshman. Look for the step inside there. You'll see Randall come here with a beautiful tackle. Superb stuff. The ball went backwards. Robin Whitfield says play on. And Jonathan Davis took it on further. Look at that long ball from Mackey. And I'm afraid the tackle wasn't all that good from Armswood. He just spun away. Such a strong man.
So Roland Phillips has appeared in the last 7, and his last try was against Wakefield way back in December. What a time to come back to the scoring habit. Davis, 1 from 1 tonight. 318 points. 2 tries and 6 goals against Sheffield in November. By the way, the conversions and penalties and the 14 drop goals that he has kicked this season, a personal best tally for the Welshman in rugby league. Misses with that one though, and he is not at all happy.
You can see the man ringed. It's a sent to Richard Price. The long ball from Mackey. He'd seen that they were coming up too quickly. And Armswood came in, should have made the tackle, but the big Welshman, Roland Phillips, great try.
Yeah, Brad Hayes had no answer to the strength of Roland Phillips then. Had a spell on loan. Oldham and Rochdale last season, but very much back in the fold now. And a real hero, believe me, on the terraces at Wilderspool. Substitution news as Derbyshire drops the ball and gives it back to Armswood. Now, can Armswood make amends for that? Let's get that substitute news from Bill.
Well, Warrington have taken off Gary Tees and sent on their academy international Mark Hilton.
Broadbent gets the ball back to the Sheffield substitute. This is Eddie Walker. And Grimaldi is the man who's gone off. Aston, short ball to the prop forward Lawton. Quick play the ball, Randall. This now with Carr. Carr gets the ball back to Powell. Powell to Aston. Here's Walker again. But he dropped the ball then. That was not played properly. Lawton. Referee says play on. Dabbed forward again by Powell. Oh, and it just beat the onrushing Linton Stott.
Beautiful kick there from Darryl Powell. And Stott just not fast enough. The ball beating both Davis and the winger. Great thinker, Darryl Powell, the Eagles skipper. Warrington making quite a few unforced errors, even though they're leading by those 5 points.
Roper with possession for Warrington. Let's confirm all the changes for you. Grimaldi has gone off for Sheffield. Eddie Walker has come on. He is a rugby union trialist forward. And this is Roland Phillips. There's Mr. Walker. And here is Mark Hilton, who's come on for Warrington.
Well, I'm sure Sheffield coach Gary Hetherington hopes that he's not a walker, he's more of a runner.
Bateman was almost through the tackle, but Carr was there to just wrestle him to the floor. Half an hour gone in this match. 11-6 Warrington. Davis arrows the ball down. And it's picked up by Hayes. Space ahead of Hayes, but closed down by Bateman, who completes the tackle. Aston, the dummy half. And this is Richard Price. Richard Price, who played in the same Premiership final as Greg Mackey for Hull in 1991 against Widnes. That was when Mackey got the Man of the Match award. Powell. Carr. Spinning in the tackle, gets the ball away neatly. Here's Price again. And Mackey, the man who tackles him and brings him down. Two of the Hull heroes there in 1991.
Great tackle from Greg Mackey. Plays the sweeping role.
That's a lovely run from Randall. Oh, he just tried to force it too much there. The referee will play, I think, the first knock on.
Trying to keep the ball alive. Good work from the hooker. Throws the dummy. Pretty heavy traffic there. Not much chance for the substitute, Eddie Walker.
Another substitution being made. Phil Arthur has the details.
Double substitution, in fact, because Mark Forster's coming off for Warrington, and on goes young Andy Bennett. Meanwhile, for Sheffield Eagles, on comes another one of their homegrown youngsters, Darren Summerhill, in place of skipper Darryl Powell, who's had treatments for all sorts of knocks this week. And young Summerhill comes on to replace the Sheffield Eagles skipper.
Well, it's at the back end of the season, and there are some very tired and I'm sure some very sore limbs on show here on the big league tonight, and there will be all over this wonderful weekend. It's been a long, hard season. Darryl Powell off, just let's confirm it for you. Darren Summerhill has come on. So debut for Summerhill, debut of course for Walker. Last tackle here. Davis dabs it over the top. He saw the space. Will it bounce kindly for him? Well, he had to be brave then. Could Ellis pick it up? No, he's knocked it on. And Davis is flattened.
Super play from the Welsh wizard. David noticed that there's no sweeper. Collides with the fullback, Brad Hayes. And that was try time. Ellis just couldn't grasp it in. Ooh, that really is a bad knock. You can see that Davis landed fair and squared on his head. Headache time.
And they're all playing around him, of course. The ball being brought upfield by Sheffield Eagles, but going very close to the injured player. However, they're not anywhere near him now. Broadbent standing well in the tackle, and then the mistake from Lawton.
Times like this, you don't need a replay and you don't need telling. He was not expecting that football. He thought the play had already finished.
He's limping.
Got quite a bad knock, didn't he? But full credit to Brad Hayes, the Sheffield full-back. He put his body on the line.
Ellis. Bateman. Davis being allowed time to run that injury off. There's Ellis. Here's Roper.
Well, that little kick, you know, from Jonathan Davis, that should be the key now to open Warrington. The Sheffield defence is moving up very quick out wide. The kick over the top is a way to break it down.
Hilton are rampaging forward. Mackey. This is how Derbyshire finds Ellis. Here's Shelford. The ball has come free, but what has the referee given? I think it's
offside. Shelford loses it. You can see Ellis is stood in front, and that is offside.
They took a quick tap, Sheffield. I say the pace of this match is unrelenting. Last game of the First Division campaign for both these two. And that was the first penalty of this match after 35 minutes. Not bad. Robin Whitfield keeping this last game of his career on the move. Aston again drops the kick over the back of Harris, and that was well taken by the young winger. And has he got the pace to get away from Hayes? He has, and he cuts in field, and he's grounded by Aston and Randall.
That was a great kick and chase, but well played by the youngster. He certainly is the star for the future, isn't he? Justin Harris, already been with the Welsh squad on a couple of occasions.
Here's Phillips.
There you can see Warrington's problem. This defence coming up very quickly out wide. And they're closing them down. They're trying to make Warrington play down the middle, and it's a kicking game that will break them.
Mackey on one knee, then gets up and brings Davis into it. Tries to go round Randall, and Randall does it again. Halts the run of the Welshman. Last tackle. Mackey drifts one over the top. Invitation for Andy Bennett to chase, but just a bit too much strength behind it.
Not happy with this. As near to a perfectionist as you'll get in rugby league, especially when it comes to the kicking game. Clever footballer, Greg Mackey, knows there was far too much weight behind it.
Armswood for Sheffield. Only 11-6. Sheffield with one of the best away records in the First Division. Crunch time, though, by Derbyshire then on Maiko.
Well, if Warrington expected an easy run for their last game, it's come as a big surprise to them. The Sheffield youngsters are really playing well.
Gary Hetherington reckons he's got a bit of depth for the first time in the 10 years that he has run Sheffield Eagles. The backing up was from Price. Richard Price. Davis has an injury. Has Price got the strength? He most certainly has. He scampered his way over the line. Davis with a leg injury. The crowd, I think, appealing for double movement, but there was none of that. And Richard Price, try number 15 of the season. And again, the Eagles rock the wire.
Well, if Warrington had any doubts it was going to be a hard road, this will certainly put them onto it. It was a beautiful play by Paul Carr, the loose forward, and the centre, Richard Price. Beautiful handoff, and I'm afraid that Davis went far too high when he should have gone low. Beautiful pass there from Aston. You could see that Carr did very well. Gets the ball back inside, and they held off. But look at this man put on the speed. But this is the moment. Davis went high. There was no chance of him calling being tackled. His progress was never stopped or halted.
And Aston from bang in front has added the extras. And Sheffield now have a 1-point lead as we approach half-time. 11-12. Richard Price, try scorer. 76th consecutive game, equaling the club record set by the injured fullback Mark Gamson, former Hull man.
Well, that's just what the doctor ordered just before the half-time break. This Eagles side playing with a lot of spirit. It's a beautiful little pass from Aston that set Carr away, and Carr in turn back inside, and the centre did the rest.
So in the last minute of this first half, the Warrington chase was good. There's Armswood. Hilton with the tackle. Aston at dummy half. The drive in from Broadbent.
Sheffield have used their forwards very well. They're sharing the work.
This fella's had a hell of a game in the first 40 minutes. Paul Carr, but that was a knock-on by Linton Stott.
Just did a little bit too much there, Carr, trying to emulate the pass inside. Plenty of traffic there, a few loose hands. Perhaps Shelford got the arm to it.
All square on the handling errors, but 1 point in it on the scoreboard, but here goes Roper, and he has the ball with him. The ball out wide, but did that go forward? I think it did. The referee says play off, but they've got it back, the Eagles. Bateman couldn't hang on to it, and the scampering defence.
What a great run from Roper. He tried to get the ball out wide into the Sheffield's hand, and the referee, Robin Whitfield, was correct. It was play on. Roper tried to get away. You could see there. Sheffield hand got to it. It's play on. And Bateman made a meal of it. The Eagles fight back.
Great run from Roper. One of the stars of the future for Warrington. But there is the half-time siren. They're not interested in the stars of the future. They're interested in the stars now. And Warrington trail at half-time despite all Mackey's promptings. But Richard Price's try, right on the stroke of half-time, has given Sheffield Eagles a shock lead here at the break. 11-12.